Get your popcorn and your beers and find your seat real quick because this fight don't necessarily have to go 12 rounds because I'm out there to rip his head off. I got H-U-R-T written in my mind. That means I'm going to destruct and destroy.
They didn't just call him Marvelous. He earned it. Marvin Hagler was a walking nightmare in the ring, cold, calculated, and crushing. With fists like granite and a heart forged in fire, he didn't just fight, he waged war. From the riot-scarred streets of Newark to the bright lights of boxing glory, Hagler rose like a force of nature, tearing through the middleweight division with ruthless precision and unmatched power. He was unstoppable, unshakable, unforgettable. But how did a kid with nothing become the most feared man in sport? And what made his reign so terrifyingly dominant? Before we dive into the legacy of one of boxing's true kings, hit that like button. And if you live for stories of grit, glory, and greatness, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a knockout moment. Let's get into it. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, born Marvin Nathaniel Hagler on May 23, 1954, in Newark, New Jersey, was a force of nature in the boxing world, with a legacy that still commands respect. Raised by his mother, Inoue, alongside 5 siblings, Hagler's early life was far from glamorous. After surviving the violent Newark riots of 1967, his family relocated to Brockton, Massachusetts, a move that would set the stage for Hagler's rise to greatness. From an early age, Hagler dreamed of becoming a champion, idolizing boxing legends like Floyd Patterson and Emile Griffith. At just 10 years old, he first put on a pair of boxing gloves, but his true journey began when he dropped out of school at 14 to help support his family by working in a toy factory. Despite the hardships, Hagler's unwavering determination to succeed in the ring never faltered, promising his mother he would one day buy her a home. And he delivered. Hagler's professional boxing career began in 1973, and by 1980, he had achieved what many only dream of, becoming the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. His reign lasted an incredible 7 years, with 12 successful title defenses, most ending in knockouts. With a knockout percentage of 78%, Hagler earned his place in history as one of the hardest-hitting middleweight champions to ever step into the ring. His reign was the second longest of the 20th century, cementing his status as a dominant force in the sport. In 1982, Hagler grew tired of announcers failing to acknowledge his nickname, so he legally changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, making sure the world knew exactly who he was. Known for his relentless style, Hagler was not only one of the most feared punchers, but also possessed an iron chin, having only been knocked down once in his entire career, an incident still debated to this day. Throughout his career, Hagler collected numerous accolades, including being named Fighter of the Year twice by the Ring magazine and the Boxing Writers Association of America. He was also honored as Fighter of the Decade 1980s by Boxing Illustrated. In 2001 and 2004, the Ring ranked him as the 4th greatest middleweight of all time, while the International Boxing Research Organization placed him 6th. Hagler's legacy was further solidified when he was inducted into both the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. His name will forever be synonymous with greatness. With a career that included legendary battles and a reputation for ferocity, power, and resilience, he remains one of the most celebrated middleweights in the history of the sport. His legacy continues to inspire fighters and fans alike, ensuring that his impact on the boxing world will never fade. About personal life. Beyond the glories of the boxing ring, Marvelous Marvin Hagler's personal life was filled with love, family, and new passions. He had 5 children with his first wife. Their relationship began in their teenage years, and though their marriage lasted 10 years, they parted ways in 1980. In May 2000, Hagler found love again with his second wife, Kate Guerrera, an Italian, whom he married in Pialtello, Italy. The couple settled in Milan, where they lived until Hagler's passing in 2021, with Kay by his side as he pursued new ventures post-retirement. Hagler's children, including Marvin Jr., James, Gentry, Celeste, and Sherelle, remain an important part of his life, even as his career took him around the world. After his boxing career, Hagler embraced a new chapter as an actor, moving to Italy and starring in several Italian action films. showcasing his charisma and versatility. His life after boxing was a testament to his ability to reinvent himself, following his passions beyond the sport that made him famous. Hagler's legacy extended far beyond the boxing ring, as he was deeply committed to giving back through various charitable efforts. He was actively involved in supporting youth programs, often visiting schools and community centers to inspire young people to stay engaged in positive activities and away from negative influences. He contributed to numerous charitable organizations, focusing on causes that helped underprivileged children and families. Even after his retirement, he continued to make a difference by conducting boxing clinics and workshops, sharing his expertise with aspiring boxers, and often donating the proceeds to local charities. In honor of his philanthropic spirit, the Marvin Hagler Memorial Fund was established after his passing to continue his work, particularly in youth development and education. His dedication to helping others left a lasting impact, cementing his legacy not only as a champion in the ring, but as a champion for his community. About professional career, Marvelous Marvin Hagler's journey to becoming a world champion was marked by a series of struggles and hard-earned victories. As a top-ranked middleweight for several years, Hagler found it difficult to get high-profile opponents willing to fight him. Early on, boxing legend Joe Frazier famously told him, "You have 3 strikes against you. You're black, you're a southpaw, and you're good." This trio of challenges forced Hagler to travel to his opponents' hometowns to secure fights, often facing local favorites. His first major opportunity came with a short-notice bout against Willie the Worm Monroe, trained by Frazier. Although Hagler lost a close decision, Monroe was impressed and granted him a rematch. In the rematch, Hagler knocked Monroe out in the 12th round and then decisively won a third encounter, stopping Monroe in just 2 rounds. With these victories, Boston promoter Rip Valenti took an interest in Hagler, helping to secure bouts against tougher opponents. He fought the 1972 Olympic gold medalist Sugar Ray Seales, defeating him in their first fight. Their second encounter ended in a draw, but Hagler left no doubt in their third fight, knocking Seales out. Hagler continued his ascent, stopping top-ranked fighters like Mike Colbert and Kevin Finnegan, the latter needing 40 stitches after facing Hagler. Despite suffering a controversial decision loss to Bobby Boogaloo Watts, Hagler avenged this defeat by knocking Watts out in just 2 rounds. Promoter Bob Arum took notice of his growing reputation and signed him. In 1979, Hagler earned his first shot at the world middleweight title, fighting reigning champion Vito Antuofermo at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. In a 15-round battle against Antuofermo, most ringside observers believed Hagler had done enough to win the title, but the judges ruled the fight a draw. Despite the strong belief by many that Hagler was the rightful winner, Antuofermo retained the title, leaving Hagler deeply frustrated. This result marked a pivotal moment in Hagler's career, but it only fueled his determination to claim the championship. After Antuofermo lost the title to British boxer Alan Minter, he got his second chance at the crown in 1980. Traveling to Wembley Arena in London, Hagler faced a hostile crowd, further incensed by Minter's racially charged remark, "No black man is going to take my title." Minter later clarified that he was specifically referring to that black man, but the damage was done. In the fight, Hagler dominated from the opening bell, opening multiple cuts on Minter's face. The fight was stopped in the 3rd round due to the severity of Minter's injuries. A riot broke out among the British crowd, forcing Hagler and his team to be escorted from the arena under a barrage of bottles and debris. After 7 years and 50 fights, Hagler was finally crowned the world middleweight champion. Once he became champion, he proved to be a dominant force, defending his title frequently. In 1981, he knocked out future world champion Fulgencio Abelmejillas of Venezuela in 8 rounds and stopped Antuofermo in a rematch, this time via TKO in just 4 rounds. Hagler's popularity soared, especially in Boston, where he defended his title. He faced a series of tough challengers, including the Syrian-born Mustafa Hamsho, who resisted for 11 rounds before being stopped. Next, Hagler demolished Michigan's William Caveman Lee in 1 round. In a rematch against Abelmejillas, this time in Italy, he knocked him out in 5 rounds. British champion Tony Sibson also fell to Hagler's power, lasting 6 rounds in a spirited contest. Another challenger, Wilfred Cyprian, was dispatched in 4 rounds, solidifying Hagler's reputation as a formidable champion. On November 10, 1983, Hagler faced the legendary Roberto Duran, the reigning WBA light middleweight champion, who moved up in weight to challenge for Hagler's title. In a hard-fought 15-round contest, Duran became the first challenger to last the distance with Hagler in a championship fight. After 13 rounds, Duran was ahead on 2 scorecards, but Hagler's late surge secured him the unanimous decision victory. Despite swelling and a cut on his left eye, Hagler powered through the final rounds to retain his middleweight title. Next up was Argentina's Juan Roldan, who became the only fighter officially credited with knocking Hagler down, though Hagler protested that he had been pushed to the canvas. Hagler dominated the fight, cutting Roldan's left eye and ultimately stopping him in the 10th round. Hamsho was given a rematch, but Hagler dispatched him even more quickly this time, stopping him in just 3 rounds. Hamsho's multiple headbutts only incited Hagler's fury, leading to a brutal stoppage. On April 15, 1985, he faced Thomas the Hitman Hearns in one of the most iconic bouts in boxing history, famously dubbed the War. From the opening bell, the two fighters engaged in a ferocious exchange. In the first round, Hearns landed a devastating right hand, but Hagler absorbed it and relentlessly pressed forward. The pace remained furious in the second round, despite Hagler suffering a cut on his head. Hearns, dealing with a broken right hand, began to lose mobility by the end of the round. In the third round, with blood streaming from Hagler's head, the fight was paused for the ringside doctor to examine the cut. The fight was allowed to continue, and Hagler quickly capitalized, landing a powerful overhand right that sent Hearns to the canvas. Though Hearns beat the count, the referee stopped the fight as Hearns collapsed into his arms. The bout lasted just 8 minutes and 1 second, but it was heralded as a classic. Hagler retained his title, and the fight was later named Fight of the Year by the Ring magazine. His next defense came against John Mugabe, an undefeated Olympic silver medalist with a perfect record of 26 wins, all by knockout. The fight took place on March 10, 1986, and it turned into a brutal contest. Hagler ultimately stopped Mugabe in the 11th round, but signs of wear and tear began to show. Observers noted that Hagler appeared slower and easier to hit, leading many to speculate that he was nearing the end of his career. Hagler's final and most controversial fight came on April 6, 1987, against Sugar Ray Leonard, who was returning to the ring after a 3-year retirement. Leonard, in securing the fight, negotiated crucial conditions: a 12-round fight instead of the traditional 15, a larger 22 by 22-foot ring, and 10-ounce gloves. Hagler, a natural southpaw, surprised many by starting the fight in an orthodox stance. Leonard, known for his speed, won the early rounds by boxing smartly and staying out of Hagler's range. As the fight wore on, Hagler switched to his southpaw stance and began to close the gap, particularly in rounds 5 through 8. The 9th round was especially thrilling, with both fighters exchanging blows in one of the most action-packed moments of the fight. In the end, Leonard's flurries and ring generalship won over the judges. Leonard was awarded a split decision victory, a result that remains hotly debated to this day. Many felt that Hagler's aggression and body shots should have earned him the win, but Leonard's strategy of landing flashy punches and moving away appeared to sway the judges. After the controversial loss, Hagler requested a rematch, but Leonard retired again, dashing hopes for another fight. 14 months later, Hagler retired from boxing, stating that he was tired of waiting for Leonard. Though Leonard later offered Hagler a $15 million rematch in 1990, Hagler declined, having settled into his new life as an actor in Italy. His final record stands at 62 wins, 52 by knockout, 3 losses and 2 draws. He retired as one of the greatest middleweight champions in boxing history, leaving behind a legacy of fierce competition, unforgettable fights, and a reputation as one of the toughest and most skilled fighters to ever grace the ring. After his controversial loss to Sugar Ray Leonard in 1987, he made a decisive break from the world of boxing. Disillusioned by the sport and unwilling to wait for a rematch that never materialized, Hagler relocated to Italy and embarked on a new career, one that would see him become a star of action films, far removed from the boxing ring that had made him famous. In Italy, he quickly established himself as a bona fide action hero. He took on roles that highlighted his physicality and screen presence, including his portrayal of a tough U.S. Marine in the films Indio, 1989, and Indio 2, 1991. Audiences in Italy adored him, and his rugged performances made him a star. His talents weren't confined to the Indio series. In 1997, he co-starred with Terence Hill and Giselle Blondin in the action comedy Virtual Weapon, adding another layer of versatility to his acting resume. Hagler's influence wasn't limited to acting. He also lent his expertise to British television, working as a boxing commentator, providing fans with his sharp insights and intimate understanding of the sport. Additionally, he ventured into the world of video games, contributing his likeness and fighting spirit to Fight Night. Round 3, keeping his name alive in the boxing world in a different way. Despite having left boxing behind, he never truly severed ties with his legacy. He remained beloved by fans, and his legend only grew with time. His transition from champion fighter to film star showcased his versatility and resilience, proving that he could conquer arenas outside of the squared circle. On March 13, 2021, the world bid farewell to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, one of boxing's greatest champions. His wife, Kay, announced that he had passed away at their home in New Hampshire at the age of 66. The cause of death was later reported as natural causes, following Hagler's hospitalization for chest pains and difficulty breathing earlier that day. His passing sent shockwaves through the boxing community, with tributes pouring in from fellow fighters, fans, and sports legends alike. His life was a testament to perseverance, grit, and an indomitable fighting spirit. In both boxing and life, he faced challenges head-on, overcoming obstacles with grace and determination. Though he left the ring decades ago, his legacy as one of the most fearsome and respected middleweight champions in history endures, ensuring that the Marvelous One will never be forgotten. Thank you for watching. Don't miss our fascinating biography of Joe Louis and other legendary boxers. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. Stay tuned for more boxing stories.